Wow, it feels great to talk about a new Black Clover chapter without having to wait too long since the last one. And to make it even better, we barely had leaks. I don't think we're gonna get many leaks for Black Clover because it seems like Diab and Knight have both retired from leaking. And the other source that was leaking panels really only released a few, and it wasn't really enough to give us any idea what the chapter was going to be about. So in reality, they just felt like preview images that you would get from like certain websites when you're trying to buy a manga volume or something. So it's it's overall pretty good. And I've talked about how I think we shouldn't get leaks anymore. And it actually feels great that I'm able to read this chapter without having to really see anything. But not just me, like the fandom. So all of us managed to enjoy it at once, and that's fantastic. I will say though, before I talk about the chapter itself, I of course want to thank Diab and Knight for everything they've done up to this point. Of course, I wasn't always the biggest fan of leaks. Of course, I'll talk about them, but you know, once they release them, I might as well do it. So I'm not exactly sure why they're not going to do it anymore, and I respect their decision to either retire from it or continue from it in the future. But for now, still grateful for everything they've done. And especially for Diab, I want to give him a shout out because he attended the event in Spain where Tabata showed up and gave some interviews regarding Black Clover. And he managed to do something amazing where he got a bunch of talented Black Clover artists to come together to create this giant art book to give to Tabata. And he managed to do it, and Tabata felt really happy to receive such a wonderful gift. And of course, he received other gifts as well from fans in Spain. So, to everyone who did, especially Diab, I really appreciate it. And Tabata seemed really happy. So, that in turn makes me really happy. So, that's just incredible. I love this fandom so much. I appreciate the positivity that we always give, whether it be to Tabata himself, or Yoshihara, the director of the Black Clover anime, or, the animators. Just anyone involved with Black Clover were always so positive and encouraging towards anybody involved with it. It's just it's wonderful, and I love to see it. Now, something else wonderful to talk about as well. Right when I open up the app, I see this beautiful color page that's about to present us for the chapter, which shows Asta and Yuno, and I think out of all of them so far, this might be my favorite. It's There's something about it. It's so detailed. It's so vibrant. Having Asta and put their hands out is just it's really cool, and I like it a lot. There's so much detail in their expressions, and it just gives off a really cool vibe, and I can't praise it enough. Like, there's another good thing about Black Clover being in Jump Giga is we keep getting these color pages, and I'm never gonna get tired of them. So really appreciate that, and you can tell that, yeah, the long breaks between chapters is definitely taking a really good effect into Tabata because his art just looks better every time a new issue releases. So, wonderful color page, wonderful event we had lately, and barely any leaks. So, now I can go ahead and talk about the chapter. So, the chapter starts off with a Dramalek commenting on how all of the Archangel Paladins have been taken down, which includes Morgan, Morris, and Acer. They're all gone, and he's like, yeah, they're way better than I thought. It may only be a matter of time for the other fights as well. And yeah, we see the Black Bulls, and they're doing their fights in the background while they're fighting the Lucius clones. We see Charlotte, and what appears to be William with like super long hair. That honestly caught me off guard until I realized, yeah, it's probably Gordon's spell that's temporarily removing his curse. So that's probably how he would actually look like. He'd look like Pottery and Licked, I guess. So that's really cool. But yeah, they're fighting against the Lucius clones. We see the Black Bulls, we see Gray and Vanessa. They take one out, which is kind of a shame. I was really hoping that we'd get individual chapters of each of the Black Bulls fighting the Lucius clones. It seems like most in the fandom didn't want that anyways. They wanted to skip it. I was on the side that I wanted to see all of them. But yeah, that would just make the manga take forever, I guess. Which I was completely fine with. But whatever. Hopefully the anime expands on it a little more. But yeah, we see them take out a clone. We see, I think that's Rill. Yeah, Rill took out another clone along with, I think that's Gauche. Yeah, Gauche and possibly Marie. Yeah, that's Marie. Next to them taking out a clone, and yeah, just Finral and who is that? Oh, that's Zora and Charmy. It's just yeah, basically all the Black Bulls taking out the clones. Oh, that's so cool though. Charmy, Finral, and Zora. Damn, that's a cool combination that you don't really see very often. Oh, and Sekre. I don't know how I didn't notice her. But yeah, really cool team up. Wish we had seen more of it. Like I said, hopefully the anime expands on it. But yeah, next panel we see Adrammelech just smiling, and he's like, "Did Lucius see this far ahead?" And yeah, it looks like Lucius' spell is getting way more powerful. It's probably almost done already. And yeah, we move towards Asta and Yuno, and they're flying up to where Lucius is at. And yeah, it seems like Bell is just completely worn out. And so is Yuno. They're like both reaching their limit. And then we get this sweet little moment where Asta's like, "Oh yeah, don't worry about it. Charmy wanted me to give this to you." And Yuno's like, "Oh, recovery magic. That's excellent." And he's just enjoying it. Ah, it's so nice. Charmy's thinking about her footprints. So now Yuno's like right back up and he's ready to confront Lucius with Asta. And when they arrive, Lucius is just sitting down in his chair waiting. Like, like from here on out, it just gives me nothing but like Aizen vibes. He's just waiting there, unconcerned about anything because he feels like his plan is basically just set in motion. Nothing's gonna interrupt it, nothing's gonna ruin it, so why worry? And yeah, he's like, "Oh, Asta, it's a shame. I see you intend to obstruct my truly peaceful world to the bitter end." And Asta's like, "I don't know whether that world is a good thing or not. I've got one question for you, though. Somebody you made into a truly happy person regretted what she had done the moment she wasn't like that anymore. Sister Lily cried. If you're bringing about a correct future, then why did a good person like her have to go through something like that?" And this man, Lucius, he just does not give a damn. He's like, "It's your fault, Asta. You are the world's flaw. When you get involved, people end up suffering. Come on, why won't you understand?" And Yuno's like, "Unbelievable. I knew it. You're not some god who sincerely wishes for peace for us humans. You're just a human who doesn't like when things go his way. Nothing but a self-righteous bastard." That's when Lucius realizes that, yeah, there's no point in talking, so he gets ready to fight them. But then we see his spell continue to, like, go crazy, and in the background, we see the Dark Triad again. We see Dante, Vanica, and Xenon. But yeah, it seems like he's kind of using them like a battery, or rather a power source. So he ends up transforming into, well, this new form that kind of reminds me of the Grey Deer logo. So yeah, it's actually pretty cool to see a new form from Lucius. So now we get into this really sick fight where Asta and just charge towards him, and that just brings the end of chapter 377. And like I said earlier, we got 2 chapters. So let's talk about the next one. Now, how this chapter opens up caught me the hell off guard. So, Asta and Yuno are charging towards Lucius. We're getting into this amazing fight, right? And then Lucius just immediately dashes up towards Asta and punches him straight in the face. And I was thinking to myself, that's how you start off the fight, Lucius? I was expecting like a really sick spell. Like, oh, I wonder what type of like soul related magic this man's gonna use. Or maybe one of his siblings' magic. No, he just shows up and punches the ever loving hell out of Asta. Like, goddamn. But immediately following that, Yuno shows up right behind him and he tries to hit him, with Lucius evading the attack. And I just gotta say, when we see Asta and Yuno work together in a fight, because this is giving me vibes to when they fought against Licht, right? When he was like half asleep. Like, that fight was just so insane. And unfortunately, at the time, if I remember right, when that chapter released, Tabata wasn't able to draw it as well as he could the other chapters. I believe in the volume release, he did fix it. But that isn't the case here, since in Jump Giga, he's able to take his time. So seeing this here, like, with his incredible art and having him take all the time he needs, this just looks really sick. Like, there's some, like, amazing stuff I'm gonna get to in a second. But, yeah. Following what they just did, Lucius pulls out his arm, similar to, like, how the color page looks like with Asta and Yuno. and he gets ready to use body compression, jets of blood, and bone bullets, which, of course, he's basically using his siblings' magics. Like, they're basically just a power source, like I said earlier. But then we see Asta and Yuno trying to evade the attacks and deflect them if they can. And yeah, they're both just charging towards Lucius, and we just get some amazing paneling of the fight. Like, like goddamn, this is just so amazing to look at. Like when Tabata, like I think he absolutely excels when it comes to his action choreography because we're seeing a lot of amazing movement from like Asta and Yuno, along with Lucius himself. Like this is just this is out of this world, man. And as we see Yuno trying to charge towards him, Lucius thinks to himself, wind and star magic bursting with unlimited potential, of one loved by mana. And then next we see Asta charge towards Lucius, and Lucius thinks to himself, anti-magic which repels magic of all kinds and obliterates it. And of course, more amazing paneling. Like, I can't get over it, man. This is one hell of a chapter. And yeah, Lucius thinks to himself, their powers obstruct each other. They're polar opposites. So why are they such a good team? No. They're each surpassing what the other has imagined, and in doing so, they're surpassing my prof. And right there and then, Asta slashes through Lucius using Zetan. And dude, this double spread is insane, bro. Like, you can actually feel the impact that Asta did to Lucius. But right after that, we see something appear in Lucius's chest, which kind of reminds me of when Aizen had the Hogyoku in Bleach during the fake Karakura Town arc. But here, I'm trying to see what exactly is it. I'm not entirely sure. It just pops out, and that's when we see Yuno use the Saint Spirit, and Aborius, I think I'm pronouncing that wrong, apologies. And yeah, like, he manages to, well, seemingly obliterate Lucius. He's like completely gone. And that's when we see Belle celebrate, and she's like, Yuno, you did it. And Asta's like, you leveled up again, Yuno. And Yuno's like, yeah, so did you, Asta. But then the chapter ends with 4 heartbeats. Ba-dump, 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 ba-dump. And like, yeah, they are so cooked next chapter, bro. And yeah, before I get on to the hard things, I know I sound super repetitive, but these 2 chapters probably had some of the best fights we've seen so far, at least in terms of how well choreographed they are. Like, wow, like every single panel just really struck out to me. It was super fun, and if this is adapted in the anime similar to how episode 100 is, we are in for a goddamn treat. Well, I mean, to be fair, I think if the anime manages to be like how Bleach is right now, and if Parrot keeps their promise about having to change, I think all of the anime is going to be insane when it comes back. But for this point in particular, it's gonna be insane, man. But yeah, Tabata, really grateful for him for having to take his time to work in Giga. Like, I know it's a pain to wait for chapters, but this is just sick, bro. I don't think we would have gotten this on a weekly release. Now, onto the chapter and just a few notes. Now, first and foremost, somebody pointed out that, yeah, if you compare it to Lucius' spell when he started it in chapter 370 to how it is now, it's basically almost complete. Like, whatever it is, it's almost done. So something big is gonna happen in the next chapter. And yeah, of course, it also kind of looks like a tree. I can only really imagine what it could do by the time it's done. But yeah, this is going to be an extremely powerful spell, and I'm curious to see how Asta and Yuno are going to be able to counteract it. I speculate that they won't, because I think Tabata is trying to bait us. He's trying to make us think that, oh, Asta and Yuno will be able to do something. Like right here, they made us think that, yeah, they defeated Lucius, but no, they clearly didn't, because we hear the heartbeats. So, maybe the spell is actually already done. So, who knows what's gonna happen next. And I have seen the comparisons that the fandom has been making that, yeah, like, it seems like the thing in his chest could be like a seed, and maybe the paladins were similar to elements that you need to grow a tree or a plant, like, the sun, soil, water, and air. So I don't remember. I don't remember who was like which each paladin was supposed to represent. And I guess now that they've been taken down, they basically fulfilled their role. So the tree is ready to bloom, I guess, or just be prepared to grow or finish. And Lucius was likely the final step. So by the next chapter, I assume we'll see whatever the spell is supposed to be. So it's basically done. And I gotta say, that's a pretty interesting concept. So if that's the case, then yeah, that's pretty smart on Tabata's part. But now that brings us the question: who are the four heartbeats? And surprisingly, there's a few theories going around about what they could be. And I mean, I think all of us had the same idea of what the possibilities are. I mean, just off the top of my head, I could just list them. So I will. Now, there's a few options. The first one, it could just be former Lucius clones, because we don't even know if the one they just fought is the real Lucius. So 4 more clones could pop up. But I feel like this is unlikely. I think having more clones appear seems like like a weird idea. Like if the spell is basically already done, why would you need 4 more clones? And that also would feel a bit anticlimactic. Like, why would you hint at these 4 heartbeats just for it to be 4 more clones? So the second option, which is the one I want to happen the most, is it's likely Lucius and his 3 other siblings, Vanica, Dante, and Xenon. Which, I mean, I think makes the most sense. Oh, the tree is done, and now, boom, you have these 4 fruits, which are basically the Zogratis siblings. So they all come back, and they're stronger than they've ever been, probably more than their 100% forms in the Spade arc. And to me, that would be pretty hype. Like, I really want to see the Dark Triad again. So that's what I'm banking on. I think that's what they are. But it seems like others disagree. They don't really think it's the Zogratis siblings. Which brings on the other possibility, which, I mean, this one I also think is unlikely, but my god, if it happens, I'd be hype. Which would be the 4 Wizard Kings we saw in the movie. And yeah, I could see that. I could see them coming back as paladins. But I don't know if Lucius would want to bring back the 4 Wizard Kings. And if he did, good lord, how would the gang even take them down? Like, it took a lot to have to stop them the first time. So yeah, that's an insane possibility right there. Uh, Maybe I'm not saying the chances for that is 0, but I don't see it. But my god, that would get me pretty hyped if that's the case. And I guess you can make the explanation that yeah, that's what the tree is for. We needed the spell to bring back the Wizard Kings, so they can be as powerful as I need them to create my new world. So sure, I could see the possibility right there. And the last one, of course, just being the return of the Archangel Paladins, which is, of course, Morgan, Acer, Damnatio, and Morris. And that one, I think, has a strong possibility of happening as well, mostly because of, well, the tree theory, as I'm calling it, where if they're the elements of what completes the spell, then bringing them back makes the most sense because, yeah, you would complete the spell. And I know many have theorized that, yeah, they're gonna come back because I guess they're easy to come back. Lucius wouldn't have any trouble doing so. Just because they're defeated doesn't mean Lucius just can't, bring them back to how they were as a paladin. And I know people really want, more moments between, Acer and Noel along with the Silva family. So sure, that's certainly a strong possibility right there. But while I wouldn't mind this, I really want all of the Zogratis siblings together. Like, I really want to see the Dark Triad again. Like, that's what I'm banking on, and that's what I'm really hoping for. But yeah, that's basically all the possibilities right there. So yeah, that's basically the end of the chapter and where we leave off. Like, I'm really excited to see where this goes. I'm really curious to see what the spell's gonna do, and I'm really excited to see what these 4 heartbeats are. And yeah, I think I rambled on enough. So yeah, feel free to let me know what you guys think. Did you enjoy the chapters? Did you enjoy the fights? Do you like the tree theory that's going around? I wish I could go more into depth into it, but I I really only have like surface level knowledge about it. I don't really know who came up with the theory. I've seen a lot of people bring it up. Maybe that could be a fun topic for my next video, but I really need to do more research about it before I do. But yeah, just based on that alone, let me know what you guys think about it. And of course, finally, the four heartbeats. Like, let me know what you think those are and what you want it to be, because I'm really excited to hear your thoughts on it. So yeah, great chapter overall. I don't know when the next Black Clover chapter is coming out, but if I were to guess, it'd probably be like 3 months from now, so maybe like in April. So it's gonna be another long wait, but if it gets us more chapters like this, of course, I am willing to wait as long as needed. And, of course, next month is a big one because that is the 10th anniversary of Black Clover. So we definitely have something to look forward to. And I know some people are anticipating an announcement of the anime returning. I don't know if it'll be this year that it comes back, but if an announcement is made, like next month would be the perfect time for it. And I will likely have a video ready just to talk about the 10th anniversary because Black Clover means so much to me and it deserves a video talking about achieving this huge milestone. So, yeah, I ramble on enough. Those are my thoughts. Feel free to share more in the comment section below. And yeah, here's looking forward to the next Black Clover chapter. Take care, everyone.